I know, chasing that dough, hitting that road, getting that money, man. All I know, loading that foe, kicking down doors, getting that money, man. We gon' make it money. We gon' take it Christmas. We gon' make it money. We gon' take it Christmas.
The next topic we're going to discuss on Boxing Bros are comments made by AJ, which, if you paraphrase, are basically Wilder's a cherry picker and he wants to fight. So let's take a listen to what he actually had to say. Now, mind you, this video is kind of long. So one, I want to establish who the video belongs to and where you can find it. So this is IFL TV, and you can find IFL TV on YouTube. There it is right there. So here's the comments from Anthony Joshua.
In your opinion,
I would have iced half of the motherfuckers out there. He's iced out.
Hold on, let me get the question. I don't know why that didn't pop up.
okay, fair enough. What for Wilder now, in your opinion?
I would have iced half of the motherfuckers out there. He's iced out in his fights, you know. And then he come up against one or two good fighters, and that's what it is at the top level, you know. So yeah, good luck to him. He's trying to learn now because he's realized, he's like, fucking hell, this ain't as easy as I thought. I'm fighting elite fighters. Fought Fury, and he realized that shit, Fury's a decent fighter, you know, and he's getting the experience he needs. I'm experienced now. Been in with all styles. I've taken losses. I've had wins. I've tried to box. I've learned to fight, taking big punches. I've tried to learn the sweet science of boxing, hit and not get hit. I can use all that experience. He's just learning that now, and he can use that. And if he does use that as fuel, he can go far for the next 4 or 5 years of his career. Good luck to him. But it just shows, you know, coming up young fighters, it's good to be protected, but don't do no cherry picking. Go out there and test yourself, test your mettle. You know,
Is that a fight that still interests you, Wilder?
Do I have to say?
No, you don't have to say. I'm just asking because that was a fight
about me as a fighter.
That you will fight anyone, but there's politics in boxing that stops that. So sometimes fans can't see the difference between the two, which is
if the fans can't see that, I would fight a Wilder with a heartbeat, Fury with a heartbeat, and Dylan with a heartbeat, Ortiz with a heartbeat. Anyone that you mention, and I'm not mentioning other fighters because I don't want to fight them, then I don't really want to speak boxing anymore. That's one thing about me and my legacy that I always wanted to remain intact, is when it's all said and done, I want them to know, whether you like me or not, whether you like my style or not, you'll know that I would fight anyone in their prime, anytime, whether like they're older, younger, middle of their career. Give me a mandatory, not mandatory. One guy pulls out, another guy steps in, no problem. I'll fight anyone. I just love the game. I love fighting. It's a great challenge. And when I'm in training camp, I'm at my peak because I'm isolated from the world, living healthy, training good. That's why I love fighting as well. I like the training camp element.
all I'm saying is, if there's a reason why some of those fights don't happen, it's due to boxing politics. It's not because of your like unwillingness to fight them. I'm saying there's politics.
And will I fight Wilder? Yes, I will. Yeah. Cool.
You have it. Anthony Joshua says that he would fight Deontay Wilder. He also points out the fact that, you know, he would knock out half the people that Wilder knocked out, and basically say he was cherry picking. So we have Conspiracy G here, and I'm gonna turn it over to you, G. What we thoughts on Joshua's comments?
All right, I'm gonna say this. Before you pressed play, I was like, what? Like, AJ talking trash while the man is now. That don't seem like an AJ type of thing. But watching the video, even when he throws hate, he does it in a positive way. So it was more like, I didn't really take it as hate. It seemed like he was giving Wilder actually some advice, you know, which it sounds crazy, but it's like, he's like, hey man, you're just now experiencing like elite level boxing. I've been there, you know, like, so I thought that was actually on a positive tip, and he even wished him luck, you know. So, you know, Yeah, man, I thought that was cool. And I like the fact that he still wants to fight Wilder, you know, because I've been waiting for that fight for years now, you know. And yeah, I felt like, you know, honestly, man, I like this kid, man. It's hard. Like sometimes I want to hate AJ, I really do. Sometimes it helps me fuel my.
The admission finally comes out.
I'm be real. I'm this already though, but it's like, you know, you want to hate somebody just to back your person. But it's like, damn, man, this dude's just too nice of a guy, bro. So it's like, I can't get mad at what he was just saying just now. You know what I mean? Because when you think about it, it was all actual facts. You know what I'm saying? Like Complex. I know you're probably gonna disagree, but let's just be real. Wilder didn't have the best resume. We all know that. You know what I'm saying? And then when he fought a guy that's like the real deal, you know, he got exposed, right? And so. But I don't think AJ was clowning him in any way, right? I think AJ's like, hey, welcome to the club now. You know, it comes with the territory. Like, you want to be an elite level fighter, you're going to go up against guys that are really good. You know what I mean? You might lose. Can you learn from your losses? You know, so I think all of that was positive. It wasn't like, yo, you're stabbing the guy in the back while he's down. I don't think AJ was doing that at all. You know, and I like the mindset that he's displaying during this interview. Like, yo, I'll fight any of these dudes, you know, like it doesn't matter. Like mandatory, not, you know, like I like that talk, you know, and hopefully, man, this AJ, that the way he's talking just translates into the ring, man. But yeah, but I don't see an issue with what AJ was saying to Wilder or about Wilder.
All right, now we'll turn it over to Complex.
Oh, okay, I'm not on mute. All right. Now, I just want to preface this, right? I came on this week purposely, no Wilder fight, no nothing, right? Not even heavyweight boxing this weekend or next weekend. So I just wanted to come and hang with my bros, my cousins, and just talk some boxing and hang out. But even when I try to get out, they pull me back in. So here we go. All right. I guess I couldn't avoid it, but I guess this is what it is. Look, actually, like G said, before the video played, I thought it was some crazy stuff. That was my first time hearing the video. And I listened to it just like G, and I was like, oh, okay, he's saying some stuff, whatever. And that's cool. That's cool. But AJ's such a nice guy. You know, AJ's a really nice guy. And I like AJ for that. You're a very good young man, right? But that's also your problem. You were too nice. You don't have any dog. You don't have any kind of mean bone in your body, right? And that's cool, right? And I'm not going to take anything away from AJ because he's an amazing fighter. I can't take away his accomplishments. And I know we're going to talk about this in a later video, but that's one of his problems. He's too nice. I thought he was going to really come with some smoke. He says, I would have knocked out half the guys Wilder knocked out. Wilder knocked out 100% of the guys he knocked out, save for the guy he lost to. But he still knocked that man down. So you're saying, oh, I could have beaten half those guys. Cool, cool, cool. No, you should be saying, I would knock out each and every single one of them, right? Because guess what Wilder's saying? Wilder's saying, I would have knocked out all those guys and you, right? So there's the difference. Look, AJ, you know, you've lost your belts now, right? So, hey, you're a normal human being like the rest of us, you know, not the heavyweight champion. You know what I'm saying? So welcome back down to earth. And I understand Wilder's lost his belt too, but you've taken now that loss. Even when I rate the different losses, even Wilder's loss, actually, his stock probably went up, whereas your stock went down. You know, yeah, now you're saying you want to fight him. Cool. Look, we can go into the history, whatever. There's been years and years of talk. I just want to see it. I would love that fight. I would love that fight right now. I think that fight is a mega fight. Wilder versus Joshua, even after each of them losing, is a mega fight. And it would tell me, it would answer a lot of questions, because even as both guys have lost, you know, the juice that they had before, right? I want to see who's really the better man when it comes down to it. Because now each of them have really nothing to lose. There's no championship, whatever. It's just, hey, it's just two guys fighting. So who's the better man? So I would love to see it. And with regards to the, challenging yourself, right? Let's make it clear. Let's be clear. Wilder lost to the #1 heavyweight in the world, right? He lost to the #1 heavyweight in the world. The man was the Ring Magazine belt, and he's the lineal champion, and he beat the previous unbeaten champion. or not. Well, he was unbeaten, but long reigning champion. Wilder lost to that guy, and if you're saying he's a cherry picker, he ran back to that guy after getting undressed in front of millions. He ran back to that guy and said, "I want the smoke." So you want to talk about whatever cherry picker? Wilder ran back into the fire, and he fought fire with fire. He had no fear at all. He didn't try to change whatever. He came in there like, you knock me out, I'm going to try and knock you out. And he almost succeeded. So whatever you want to say about Wilder, you can't say that man is afraid of anybody either. That man will run in there, even against a guy heavier than him, bigger than him, longer than him. And he says, I'm still in here. So whatever cherry picking, whatever, hey, how about this? You fight him, right? Since he's been cherry picking, so you fight him now, and if you can expose him, then you're right. But if you can't beat him, which I doubt you can, then it'll expose you. And we'll see how strong you are. We'll see what your championship medal is like. And look, I would love to fight. I respect to both guys. I don't want to take anything from AJ. But, all this talk, AJ is very, before when he has the belts and whatever, he's above all this. But now that he doesn't have the belts, he wants to start saying names. Before, it was, if I could quote Destiny's Child, say my name, say my name. Now that he's lost the belts, he's a little bit of a bugaboo. You know what I'm saying? Now he's willing to come out there and say people's names. Look, I kind of like it, but I want you to come harder. I wish you came harder, because then I would love, because this sort of gave me a little bit more energy to come back at you with. It was very nice, kind of like, oh yeah, of course I want to fight these guys. Yeah, and good luck to him. And come on, bro, don't give me that. I want to see. Talk something, say something, come harder. All right. And I know we're going to talk about that later, but look, AJ, whatever, you got to get back with Usyk, so we'll see how that goes. But I would love to see that fight next. Wilder versus AJ, I believe, still does gangbusters, and I think the whole world stops to see who wins that fight.
All right, I'm sure I don't even. Let me call Trill Dollar Bill in here. Get in there, Trill Dollar Bill.
I'm actually. When I first seen the subject matter, I say the same thing with every fighter. When they have another fight coming and they start mentioning other people, I'll be like, yo, worry about the person that's in front of you. That's what I always say. And I want to keep that same energy. But then I was listening to the interview, right? And I was like, oh, I see what AJ was doing. That was a subliminal to Caden. That was to let him know that he watched the audits. You know what I'm saying? Oh,
damn. I was about to say, it looks like AJ's got time now. And he went on YouTube and he found a little channel called the Boxing Bros USA.
Exactly.
Now that he's got no belts, he started looking around and he's like, oh, let me see what these guys are talking about. Now he starts talking about cherry picking, whatever. I see you, AJ. You got time now. I hope you're watching this, AJ. I hope you're watching this, AJ.
I only got one thing to say about that. Then I do, man.
So yeah, that's what I got from that whole video. Is shout out to AJ, and please like and subscribe to Boxing Bros. Yeah,
give us media passes.
Media passes. You all ready for the next fight?
Eddie. You know what I'm saying?
Hey yo, Eddie. You know what it is, Eddie.
You know what I mean? So we're gonna dive in the next segment. We're gonna dive more into the AJ situation. Yeah, I can't wait to get into that video.
All right, and now we're turning it over to the diehard AJ fan, Ned the TVE.
I had the same reaction when you first clicked video, played the video, and he was saying I knocked out 20. I knocked out half of his opponents. I'm like, oh, he talking spicy. Then shout out to AJ for always bigging up your mans. And I agree with Complex. So you need that dog in you. I don't know where it went, but you had the dog in you, and then after your fight with Ruiz, like it just comes in later rounds. And with the Usyk fight, we didn't see it at all. But AJ, work on, like we always say, work on training with killers and everything. But you said he's a regular human now. No, he's not. He still has a rematch clause to get his belts back, while your man is contemplating retirement or fighting remains for 2 nights. So watch your mouth.
He's got enough time. He's on YouTube channels, bro. He got time these days.
How much time? Wilder is on YouTube channels. Wilder's giving interviews to YouTube channels, bro.
He's giving interviews, but he's not watching them. He gives an interview.
Wilder be watching us. Wilder be watching.
He just said that, yo. Like,
yo, bro, G knows this. I've said stuff about Wilder, and he'll literally make a video about everything I just said he wasn't doing and post it.
So listen, my father's in.
We wrote Wilder's apology speech.
Wilder's watching word for word, huh?
I guarantee
they both lost. They both lost, so they got time. They got time now. So
hey. My fighter's in a better position than your fighter. And if our fighters with the fight, we already know how it's gonna go down.
We know what's gonna happen.
Hey,
we know who's gonna quit.
Watch your mouth. And we know it's still smoke in that department. So don't play with me, Complex. Shout out to the Boxing Bros.
Oh my
God. He's like, yo, it's still on-site beef. Yo, watch your mouth.
Smoking at the department. So there's a few things I'll address. All right. So I want to let my man chef, so I didn't want to interrupt him. But Wilder did cherry pick Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury was out of the sport for 2.5 years, and then he came back in the sport and he fought Francesco Pena and Sefer Sefries, and then he fought Deontay Wilder. 3 fights within 9 months. So Deontay Wilder didn't fight Tyson Fury when he was active. You can go back and see the video of Tyson Fury stepping in the ring with Deontay Wilder and challenging him when he was active, and Deontay Wilder said, yo, I got to fight my mandatories. Then Fury ballooned up. To 400 pounds, was out of shape, and then that's when he had to lose over 150 pounds. It's well documented what he was doing while he ballooned up to that weight. He was getting high. He was sleeping around. He was basically living life on the edge. So he loses 150 pounds. He's been inactive for 2.5 years. He's suffering with mental health illness. And oh yeah, in his 3rd fight in 9 months, he fights Deontay Wilder. And everyone thought Wilder was going to beat him easy for those reasons, including Deontay Wilder, except one thing. Fury didn't stay down. Fury got back up. And that was the difference. Champions get back up. So you say that he deserves credit for taking a rematch, right? Well, what was he supposed to do? Take the belt and run? He just got exposed by Fury. But he's living on the belief that, okay, if I dropped him twice in the rematch, I'll finish him. Because we all know Deontay Wilder's motto. You got to be perfect for 12 rounds. I only got to be perfect for 2 seconds. And he believes in it so much, it led to his body shutting him down in the trilogy. So you know Wilder's motto. So he believes he's going to knock Fury out in the rematch. He goes as far as saying Fury has pillows for fists. And if Fury knocks him out, he'll retire. He went as far as to say that. And guess what happened? Mr. Pillowfish stopped his ass. Made Mark Brillin throw in the towel. And then we know what happened as a result of Fury stopping him. This man went on a spiral. It started when he was wearing a hoodie in the dark, looking like he was about to snitch on somebody, talking about your king is here and I will rise again. Then from that came Glovegate, came disloyal trainer, came crab in a barrel referee, came spiked water, came egg weights, came every excuse in the book from Deontay Wilder. Then came the trilogy. And I'll admit, in the trilogy, Wilder showed tremendous heart. But that's just a moral victory. That's like giving Wilder some crumbs. Because let's talk about what really happened. After that 4th round, he got his ass whooped like he stole something. Before that 4th round, he was getting his ass whooped like he stole something. He had 2 good rounds, 1 and 4. And the rest in that trilogy was what we've been saying about Deontay Wilder from the beginning. He's too limited to beat a skilled heavyweight, period. I know you Wilder fans would like to believe he walks in there and he beats Joshua because you saw Usyk, an extremely skilled heavyweight, beat Joshua. Arguably the most skilled heavyweight in the division. Certainly the fastest, certainly has the best footwork. You saw him beat Joshua, and that makes you think Wilder, 2 left feet, can beat Joshua? That makes you think Mr. One Punch can beat Joshua. And if you don't know, let me school you on something. Fury was reverting back to his old ways, and he went back into that corner, and Sugar Hill Stewart laid into him and said, if you put your jab in his face, he can't get that right hand off. Facts. Fury went back to putting the jab in his face, and your man was rendered useless. Back to holding his hand like this and moving back. That was Wilder. Yeah. I give him credit. He got his behind whooped, but it probably would have been better for him to just stop after round 9. So he took damage in the rematch. He took damage in the trilogy. He took more damage in those 2 fights than I've ever seen Joshua take. Facts. I've never seen Joshua get beat the way I've seen Wilder get beat, but somehow you think that Wilder's loss was better than AJ's? AJ was in his fight with Usyk. Even Usyk admitted that AJ was in his fight with Usyk. Check it. Look it up. Usyk said, I don't understand the criticism from Joshua. He put up a good fight. Said it was a brilliant fight. That's what Usyk said. Let's compare the fights. You had 2 dudes who weren't even in the best shape of their careers. Fury wasn't in the best shape of his career. Wilder wasn't in the best shape of his career. You had these 2 dudes who were overweight and tired, flailing at each other. In comparison to the skill we saw in Joshua versus Usyk. In comparison to the skill we saw in that fight. Joshua versus Usyk was one of the most skilled heavyweight fights I've ever seen in my life. Facts. Play the tape. Look at the stuff Usyk was doing to AJ. Look at the stuff AJ was doing to Usyk. You saw none of that in Fury versus Wilder. You saw wild swinging. You saw big dudes doing all that. Oh, yeah, that's cool. But let's be real about it. There wasn't great skill on display. That wasn't the most skilled I've seen Tyson Fury. I was very disappointed in what I saw from Tyson Fury as someone who knows how good Tyson Fury is. Wilder couldn't even beat the best. That was probably the worst version of Tyson Fury I've seen in a while, and Wilder still couldn't beat. So I don't want to hear all this stuff. Now let's get to Wilder's resume. Weak AF. Weak AF. I already made the artist on Wilder's resume. Let's talk about it in comparison to Anthony Joshua. Anthony Joshua beat Dillian White. Oh, come on, we got all these excuses. I don't want to hear people talking the politics game. Did they fight or not? No, they did not. Did Joshua stop Dillian White? Yes, he did. Joshua knocked out Charles Martin. Joshua knocked out Vladimir Klitschko. Joshua beat Dominique Brazil before Wilder did it. Beat Dominique Brazil when he was undefeated. And anyone can tell you it's harder to beat an undefeated fighter because an undefeated fighter hasn't learned how to lose yet. Right? So Joshua beat Dominique Brazil when he was undefeated. Joshua went on to beat Povetkin, Pulev, Joseph Parker, numerous people. This is Joshua's resume. All these guys who Wilder never stepped in the ring with. Wilder never unified once. The baddest man on the planet to never unify. That should be his name. He's the baddest man on the planet that never unified. Because the guy who unified, Tyson Fury, whooped his behind. Anthony Joshua was unified. Even Usyk in 3 fights has accomplished more in the heavyweight division than Deontay Wilder has in his entire career. Usyk in 3 fights accomplished more than Deontay Wilder has in his entire career. 1, he's unified heavyweight champion. Deontay Wilder's never been that. Go ahead, Annette.
G gave you a side eye and then he thought about it.
I was like, Yeah,
Prove me wrong.
you're right. That's why I didn't say nothing.
Yo, that's all I'm saying. So this talk about Wilder like he's some big beast, right? All I know is this: if anyone can say that they're willing to fight the best, it is Anthony Joshua, because he's literally fought all the guys who are in the top. If we pull up the top 10 heavyweights in the world right now, Joshua's fought the majority of them over Tyson Fury and over Deontay Wilder. Facts. Which brings me to this point. How can you say Fury's the #1 heavyweight in the world? The only person he's ever iced was a limited boxer. The only person he's ever iced was a one-trick pony. That's it. He beat Klitschko in 2015, bro. It's 2021. He's never beaten Dillian. He's never beaten any of the other elite guys at the top. Only person he beat was Wilder, and quiet as kept. And I've been telling you this, Wilder's the easiest one. Still believe that. Not because Wilder has a good right hand, but that's all he has. One weapon doesn't beat people at the elite. Salute to my man, Bernard Hopkins, who let everyone know that already. If a guy has one weapon, I take that weapon away from him. What could he do then? Lose, like Wilder did.
He ain't gonna land it. He ain't gonna land it.
Exactly. But no, look, it's at the end of the day, you can say what all they want. But I'll close with this. And then Complex, you can get the floor again. AJ isn't being a bugaboo. He isn't saying, say my name. He's giving Deontay Wilder advice because he's saying, let me upgrade you. All right, go ahead, my brother.
That was good. Look, you said a lot there. It's hard to get to everything, but I'll just quickly say, you went on a bit of a tirade there. The first 5 minutes were dedicated to Deontay Wilder, and this is my point. Since that fight, you want to talk about each fight: Usyk versus AJ and Wilder versus Fury 3, or Fury versus Wilder 3. The one fight everybody's talking about still is Fury versus Wilder. You want to say, oh, which one was better stylistically and whatever? Maybe cool, but everybody's talking about Fury and Wilder now. Those two have been elevated from their fight because they both showed heart. Yeah, you say that there wasn't as much boxing skill. If you want to say that, fine. I can disagree on certain points, but whatever. But at the end of the day, those two men left something in the ring, and that's what everybody's remembering from that. AJ wilted under the pressure. That's what I saw. AJ did have a good fight, but I also saw AJ fall back because he was losing, because he couldn't handle the pressure from Usyk. So I don't really want to hear this whole, oh, well, who's going to win, whatever. Look, I'm asking to see it. I don't want to talk about, boxing's not fought on paper. You want to say whoever AJ fought, I'll give him. AJ fought a lot of good guys. I'll give him that. And Wilder doesn't have the same names on his resume. There's numerous reasons for that. But guess what? This all solved by them fighting each other. And that's what I've always wanted. But look, at the end of the day, it's all good. Look, AJ, you got to get back to Usyk. So do that. Let's see the fights, what happens. But I'm hoping that we see that fight sooner rather than later. And I'll just leave it at that.
Don't pin this on me, Complex. You the one who came out with the smoking gun calling AJ a regular guy, trying to tell him to shut his mouth and all that. So that's when I had to just politely remind you that your guy is the one who needs to shut his mouth. Because I never heard
this is an AJ topic. This is an AJ topic. We spent more time talking about Wilder. So I just want to point that out, right?
This is an AJ topic where AJ's mentioning Wilder.
Yeah. So he mentions a lot of names. Honestly, he mentions a lot of names. But we don't even mention AJ. We're talking about Wilder because Wilder's the bigger name right now.
Wilder's a bigger name than AJ. Do you hear yourself?
Right now,
AJ, when AJ's about to fight, AJ doesn't mention Wilder. All Wilder does is mention AJ. All Fury does is mention AJ, so they can tie their name into AJ's to try to build their fight.
Well, now why did they got to mention him at all?
Bro,
they don't have to mention him at all.
How you can honestly sit here and try to say that Wilder has a bigger name than Anthony Joshua,
bro? The internet, bro. Let's talk about what was trending, what people have been talking about. AJ fought. Nobody even knew the fight was happening. Nobody even know. People don't even know if he lost or not. He's still the champion or not, bro. Did they talk about it anywhere? I didn't see anything anywhere. I saw Wilder Fury being talked about before and after the fight.
You saw what you wanted to see. That's called confirmation bias. You wanted to see everything about it.
I mean, bro, I follow boxing. I do. I follow boxing, and I'll keep it above. I didn't see as much. When AJ lost, it was like, oh, okay. It wasn't even as like a thrilling loss. It wasn't even like whatever, just kind of ho hum, like whatever. Even in Wilder's loss, his stock rose up, bro. All types of people came out from all types of public places.
Do you understand
saying,
why though? Hold
Wilder,
on.
we respect you. That you showed so much heart in that. Well, we're still behind you, still to this day. Still to this day. So at this point, for me, I think Wilder is a little bit ahead of AJ in terms of the world perception, at least in America. And at least in America, but
you get knocked out. You get knocked out in front of all the people. You're gonna be a meme, and you know what I'm saying. You get a lot of
But guess what? I'd rather my guy go out there and go down on his shield and get knocked out. I'd rather him put in his heart.
He was trending for all the wrong reasons.
Then for AJ, just Wilson. No, AJ at the end of that fight, AJ was happy to get out of that fight. AJ was happy to get out of that Usyk fight. He was relieved. There's a difference in these two men. Let's not act like there isn't.
Let's be clear. Yeah, there is a difference in these two men. One is an Olympic gold medalist, not a bronze medalist. One has been unified at heavyweight champion, while the other has held one belt hostage and never fought another champion to unify. One has fought the biggest names in the top 10, and the other has fought mediocre competition, and his fan base tries to boost them up as if they are elite. Yeah, you're right. And one guy, the one time he stepped up in class, has lost 2 times and only has 1 draw, and the other guy actually has victories over the elite. Yeah, there's a difference. The guy who has done all the positive things is AJ. The guy with all the negative things is Deontay Wilder.
There's one guy who's going to quit.
Oh, guys.
All right, let me.
And I'm trying to be objective here, although I know I am a Wilder fan. But nonetheless, Complex to a degree is technically correct. But I feel like the way both of y'all pose y'all arguments is not the bigger picture, right? Complex is right. Right now, Wilder is on an incline when it comes to popularity, right? Like literally on Twitter, you could just see it. Like everyone spoke about that fight. Everyone gave Wilder a lot of credit and admiration for having heart, right? So
they ain't even watched the fight.
Let me just finish.
I know he interrupted me to say this, but go ahead.
I just want to finish. When AJ lost to Usyk, it wasn't to that same degree. So when Complex is saying that, he said right now, he didn't say, throughout their careers. He just said right now, Wilder is more popular because you could just look at the Twitter analytics and everything. Everyone was talking about it. It was the most recent fight, but AJ is going to get his chance when he rematches with Usyk. You know what I mean? So that's why, to me, this argument doesn't really even make sense, because wait until the rematch with Usyk, see how AJ performs, and then we'll know if people are going to be like, yo, great performance, AJ, this and the third. Right now, AJ lost, to Usyk. Everyone thought AJ was going to win. That's the difference. Everyone thought Wilder was going to lose. Everyone thought AJ was going to win.
Finally, G, that's the only objective thing you said. Now, to go into the point. Bro, you came in on. Remember, you went like this on my.
Because I knew Complex.
So cool. I'm just reminding you that you came in like that on me though. So that's why I'm jumping back in, because you finally made the real point. The point was the expectations for AJ are different than the expectations for Wilder. It's not that people view Wilder in a positive way. It's in the fact that people expect so much from AJ and they expect so little from Wilder. People expect so little from Wilder that he can get knocked the F out, and everyone's like, good job. We knew you were going to get knocked out anyway. We just didn't expect you to go to the 11th round, i.e. Caden and everyone else in the boxing world. Whereas AJ loses to Usyk, and we're like, bro, we thought you were going to smoke him. I.e. G, who dubbed the fight Ukrainian soup. There's different expectations for these guys. So, of course, people are, when you're graded on a bell curve, and your boxing skills are so limited.
That's why I said trending for the wrong reason.
No, but this is the difference. Let me point out the difference.
That's why I said trending for the wrong reason.
Let me point out the difference. Both men lost, but in the way they lost. You want to say Wilder came in as an underdog? Yes, that's true. He went in as an underdog against a bigger, younger man. Fine. AJ went in as a favorite against, he's the bigger man, he's the younger man, he's the reigning champion. And in that fight, we saw the hearts of two men. Wilder, who's fighting uphill, right? Remember, he's fighting a bigger man, a younger man, is still fighting against the odds. Whereas AJ has everything in his favor, literally is in his favor. Younger, bigger, stronger, whatever you want to say. And he still wilted.
in his
Hold
favor.
on. He still wilted. He still wilted under the pressure. Yeah, because guess what? Gold medalist. AJ's fought at heavyweight longer. He should have won. That's why everybody expected him to, because he should have won. I don't care that. Yeah, Usyk was a cruiserweight champion.
Hold on.
Heavyweight. This is no.
Everyone was expecting Wilder to win.
When you look on paper,
what you said,
when you look on paper, no, the only time
first fight,
they drew.
The first fight,
They drew.
What you're saying, hold on, was good.
Yes.
Was good for what you use against AJ could be used against Wilder. This is what I'm gonna show you. In the first fight, Fury was coming from being 400 pounds, had to lose 150 pounds, was inactive for 2.5 years, had 2 fights in 6 months before he fought Deontay Wilder, which was his 3rd fight in 9 months. And he was inactive, and Wilder had all the activity. Wilder,
no, that's not true. I'm gonna stop you.
Everyone thought Wilder was going to win.
I'm gonna stop you right there. I'm gonna stop you right there. This is the reason why. One, the physical attributes can't be changed. Fury's always been bigger, heavier, longer than Wilder, and younger. Those don't change at all. The first fight also, what's more, hold on.
Nah, you BSing, bro. Stop it.
What do you mean? I'm BSing? 6'9", 2.
Everyone thought Wilder was gonna win, bro. Like,
bro,
that's
even at that fight, guess what? Wilder, even in that fight, when he was losing, still pulled out in the 12th round to save it to make it a draw. I'll be
he still pulled
it out in the 12th round to make it a draw.
Thank you, Trill.
Even though he was going to win the second.
Thank you, Trill. Even Wilder was still favored to win the second fight, bro. And he got
AJ, bro. This is the point. Fury's always been bigger and longer than Wilder. This is
Wilder's chisel.
Wilder was chiseled.
He got 40 pounds on him. This is what kills me. It sounds like Wilder was the Goliath in this situation. A bigger man, though. No, let's keep it real.
He's being billed as the hardest puncher in boxing history.
Yeah, as a smaller man. When he's
Mike Tyson had the same thing. It didn't matter, bro.
He's a smaller man. Mike Tyson couldn't do it against everybody either. He couldn't do it against
the smallest man.
Wilder's weighed less than Mike Tyson at times. Wilder's weighed less than Mike Tyson and still knocked out guys heavier.
Bro, you serious?
Look, this is the point. Let me focus on the last 2 fights. In the Usyk fight, we saw AJ wilter under the pressure. There is the difference. We saw the fight. You could talk about resumes, whatever, but when I saw with my eyes, when I saw AJ in that ring, I saw AJ happy for the bell to ring at the end that he was gonna. I saw the bell ring a couple of seconds early, which probably saved him from ending up on his face. Which probably saved him from ending up on his face. I saw a guy in his corner waving the towel for some weird reason. I don't know why. I don't know if he's getting ready to throw that thing in there. But I saw a guy waving the towel.
I saw the towel in the ring. In Wilder's fight, I saw the towel in the ring. I saw AJ in Wilder's fight. I saw the towel in the ring.
I saw AJ happy to get out of that fight. I saw Wilder, who could have easily gone out of that fight anytime he wanted to. Like you said, after the 4th or 5th round, he was done. He could have got out. He stayed in that fight.
Both of y'all.
There's 2 different guys here.
Now, both of y'all arguments are just like all over the place. Everyone based
all over the place.
Nah, yeah, you are. And the reason why is you're comparing that last AJ fight to the first Wilder fight.
No, thank you. I'm saying no. See, I hate this. G, you claim you're objective to be objective. Stop.
I am being objective.
Stop. Hold up.
Okay.
I used the logic that he used to down AJ against Wilder.
But this the reason why it doesn't.
That's it. I wasn't.
That's cool. But I'll say this. You only judge based upon your last performance, right?
Okay.
When the rematch between Fury and Wilder.
How do you only judge based on your last performance?
That's
no, that's not how it works.
If we want to compare apples to apples, we're talking about their last fight.
It's not that. If you're setting an expectation that when you're the favorite and you have all the advantages, you should win. It's not only limited to your last.
No. That's not what I'm talking about. You see,
but that's what I'm talking about.
Okay,
that's the argument that Complex made.
No, he was saying what G was trying to say is that if you go off of their last fights, you know what I'm saying? AJ left on his feet and Wilder left on his face.
Yes, thank you.
That's what G was trying to say.
Well, what I'm saying is this, right?
Thank you.
They're being both held to different standards, right? And I'll admit, I do the same thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, Wilder has a separate standard. You know what I mean? I don't expect much. So when he exceeds that expectation, you go, damn, yo, good job, man. The dude showed heart. With the AJ situation, let's just be real. And on this show, I'm the minority here. But there was several people, boxing analysts, boxers, coaches, trainers that all agreed with me. AJ's gonna mop Usyk, right? Usyk shocked the world. You see what I'm saying? So Usyk's stock went up while AJ's stock went down because people had higher expectation to AJ versus anything that Wilder had. So that's why, to me, like this argument is almost asinine, because it's like, yo, AJ's up here, Wilder's down here, right? So it's like, yeah, AJ's already up, so clearly he's gonna go down from that loss of Usyk. While Wilder, although he lost, because he showed such heart, yeah, he's going up right now, but that's just for right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, look at these guys in their entirety. AJ's performances and everything that AJ has done has garnered this guy's clearly the #1 guy in the heavyweight division. So it's like, respect him for just that. Wilder, sure, he did great this last fight. Cool. Is AJ? I mean, is Wilder still going to maintain that momentum in his next fights? What if Wilder fights a tuna can? Is people still going to be praising Wilder for that fight? No. You see what I'm saying? So it's like, this conversation is just kind of weird, bro. Like, and on top of that, we were talking about what AJ was talking about with Wilder. It went from AJ, it did now, it's a Wilder conversation. Wilder really almost is irrelevant in this conversation, with the exception of AJ did bring him up, but I don't think AJ brought it up as hate. Y'all, I think y'all are taking it as, yo, AJ is like disrespecting Wilder. And that's why this conversation is almost like, oh, why are we even having this conversation right now? You know what I'm saying? Like,
no, AJ, we know that. Complex disrespected AJ by saying he a regular man.
Thank you.
Hold on.
So because of that, we gotta jump into a Wilder conversation.
No, this wasn't AJ. No, it jumps into a Wilder conversation because you have double standards. That's what makes it a Wilder conversation. Because we were sitting here talking about AJ, then you sit there and try to bash AJ while bigging up Wilder, but you don't highlight the flaws in Wilder. So then what we do is we say, how can you downplay AJ and big up Wilder when he has even more flaws? Because what you try to do was downplay AJ for L, and Wilder took the same L, actually in worse fashion, but somehow you're saying Wilder's L was more impressive. So that brings us to have to try to get some logic in here and make us talk about Wilder. So don't make it look like we just came out here shooting at Wilder. And one thing G said that I want to address, and I was going to throw it to you, Trill, and if you, because I saw you want to get in, so I'll let you get in. Everyone didn't think AJ was going to wash Usyk. You did, and a few other people did. I said Usyk was dangerous. He has a style. He has the ability to mimic a style that's difficult for Anthony Joshua. He's going to be more difficult than Ruiz, and I wouldn't be surprised if he wins. Check the tape. Trill said the same thing. Yeah, we picked AJ, but we acknowledge that Usyk is the real deal. Undisputed.
AJ wins. He deserves full credit for beating somebody as special as Usyk.
Yeah, I do know I never said y'all didn't say
We've been saying Usyk is special. No, the point I'm making is that the whole boxing world didn't think that it was an easy fight for Joshua. The way that I said the
majority.
I don't even know if the majority did. But what I'm saying is, Anthony Joshua's taking on a mandatory who's dangerous, who's undefeated, who's beating everyone, right? And Complex is saying, oh, well, AJ quit. He looked happy to get out of the fight. You would have an argument if Wilder fought Usyk and he did better against Usyk. But the fact of the matter is, Wilder's never fought Usyk, just like he's never fought Dillian White, just like he's never
Joshua's
fought
never fought Fury.
Like he's never
Joshua's never fought Fury. So what's the difference? So there's no
way
to compare them. There was no way to compare them.
Joshua was scheduled to fight Fury. I said Joshua was scheduled to fight Fury. I said Joshua was scheduled to fight Fury. I said Joshua was scheduled to fight Fury, but then he couldn't fight Fury because of arbitration. So let's not make it seem like Joshua wasn't trying to fight Fury. Again, something you're trying to exclude. Joshua wanted to fight Fury. Joshua negotiated a contract where he was ready to fight Fury, and Fury was the one who couldn't meet the expectation because he wanted to beat up on the easy guy for a second time. But
all right, bro.
Yeah, go ahead, Ned.
Now, that's on the phone.
All right, I'm.
Yeah, let's go to the next topic.
This went on and it went on, and I'm sure the comment section is going to be crazy. Let us know how you feel in the comment section. Please like and subscribe.
I know you
check us out on Instagram and
said.
Twitter, and please check out our podcast on all major streaming services. Trill Talk Volume 3 is out right now. Let us know how you feel. Yeah, we're the Boxing Bros.
Complex did it to me again, everyone. I'm sorry. Complex did it to me again. He pulled me.
I'm telling you, I had no interest in talking Wilder. Nothing, even heavyweight boxing.
I'm even scared to go to the next topic.
Bring it up, baby.
You're welcome. You're all